And we're rolling.
Should we clap for fun?
Yeah, sure. Perfectly in sync. Hello everybody, welcome to a very special episode of Ding. Slightly different to what our plotted course of attack was to be for this episode, but as an added bonus, we have got our first ever in the flesh, well not live, but recorded in the same room podcast of
We're
Ding.
on a couch.
We are on a couch.
There's a dog with us.
We're joined today by Napoleon. Napoleon, say hi. Or not, that's cool. He's just kind of chilling. So we're gonna be doing a little bit of a different podcast. I know in our previous pod we said we're going to start off with a recap of the new Final Fantasy.
Yeah, the expansion hasn't come out yet, but we were going to discuss Final Fantasy in this episode, but my girlfriend broke up with me, so she can't talk about it with us.
Well, yeah, that's the long and the short of it, I guess. But instead of that, today we're going to be talking about just sort of like a more general, bigger picture, state of the union as far as MMOs goes and what sort of the play of affairs are right now, where things are at with a couple of the older and newer players, as well as just sort of like a more general roundup, I guess.
Yeah, and this gives me an opportunity to just talk about some of the MMOs that I don't play anymore, just to talk about them and how they go, as well as a couple that I'm really interested in and hoping make it to the West.
Oh, hello, Napoleon.
There he is.
It's made an appearance.
Shh, it's okay.
So what would you like to sort of cover off first?
One that's at the forefront of my mind because it's one of my desktop backgrounds at the moment. Spiral Knights.
Spiral Knights. We've had a burn in this one before.
We have. I started a new character to play with you as we went through the tutorial. You were Kcaj. I was Kcaj as my boyfriend.
Yeah, it was quite embarrassing.
I had pretty pigtails and everything. I really enjoyed Spiral Knights. I don't play it nearly as much as I used to, mostly because at the high end now, the latency for us is too much.
Really?
Yeah, because they've got US servers, but as an Australian, the latency is just too high at the level I've been playing at. Too many of the targets one-shot you. And so if you can't predict that, put your shield up or dodge in time, you're screwed. And so even if you've protected or dodged on your end, you'll just quickly rubber band back and be dead.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a very cute hack and slash with one of my favorite artists as the creative lead from the art team.
Yeah, I did notice when we were doing a playthrough that the world design and the character design was quite stylistic. It was very sort of that bobblehead kind of I want to say chibi, but that's the wrong sort of.
Chibi kind of makes
that's pretty close. Okay,
it kind of suits. Yeah.
It's very very sort of like cutesy, fun design. Like it's.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to freely plug their webcomic here, 3-Panel Soul, because I love the artwork. It's wonderful. So yeah, Spiral Knights, I would recommend it, especially if you're in the US where you can play without latency. It's got a lot of hardcore stuff, and you can also just hit it casually. It's very cute, very fun. I've got a fantastic outfit in there. I would recommend it.
Okay, great. What else is sitting in the landscape of MMOs at the moment?
ArcheAge is still burning along. That one I definitely don't play anymore. It sucked up way too much time, and the politics in it. Like EVE Online, which we'll also discuss.
Just before we dive into it, ArcheAge is the one where you had the pirates, yes?
Yes, we had massive.
So it was a nautical sort of.
Yeah, a big part of it was nautical. They still had 2 large land masses, and then they introduced another one later, and a tiny island.
But the majority of the game was the fun stuff was happening on the open sea.
Yeah, the fun stuff was really happening on the oceans. It's a regular third-person MMORPG. It's a Korean one, so it's designed to take up your time.
They love the grind.
They love the grind. They want it to be your only game. It had a very unique system where, like, if you committed crimes and stuff and you were reported enough and were captured or killed by NPCs or players, you'd be taken into a trial, judged by a jury of your peers, which are other players, called to jury duty, and they would decide whether you were guilty or innocent. The problem is Western audiences are very different to Eastern audiences.
They're not really accustomed to having such democratic processes expected to take place.
No, and also people don't really break the rules too much in Eastern MMOs in the East, but in the West, we're assholes. We fuck shit up. We like. There will be bullying, there will be doxing, you know, people will be hacking each other, people do anything to get ahead in that, and they will brutally murder you and your whole team over and over and over. They will steal you, they will steal your ship, they will trap you in a little cage if they can. At one point, I had a trade ship with a whole team on it, and they got all their people in their faction in the area to push our ship onto land on top of some farming vehicles so they could drive the ship on land to kill us in a location that they wouldn't be punished for.
What? That's it. I mean,
which is wonderful.
Part of me is not even mad at that.
I honestly wasn't even mad. It was a massive loss, but I wasn't even mad with the creativity. But the thing is, the judicial system completely unprepared for a Western audience.
Right.
Like, it was overcrowded. There were always several court cases going on at once. Massive queues for court cases because of the huge amount of criminals.
So how does one initiate a court case?
Oh, once you're captured, you're stuck in. You get put on trial, and people warp in as the jury. Right. And they can walk back to where they were after they finish. And so then you have a chance to make your plea. The most successful plea in memory was Hodor. Just all you said was Hodor. And they would usually mark you innocent, even if they saw you were the most brutal killer or thief, that, you know, just stealing other people's crops and stuff. No matter what you did, you say Hodor, you're off the hook.
It's sort of like that mob psychology, you know, the sort of stuff that you usually find in games like Town of Salem, you know, where often the jankiness or the, you know, just if you're funny enough, you can just get away with murder. In this case, quite literally.
Yes, you get away with murder. And the people were just generally mean. My team, we always set out to hunt pirates. That was our main goal. We honestly didn't get ahead much because pirates always had the advantage. They were always allowed to fire first. They usually robbed so many people that they were way ahead when it came to gear, funds, housing, everything. So they would it would take a whole team of us to take down one guy. But they created this system where if you were this kind of person who would hunt down criminals, they would give you a scarf.
Okay.
A scarf to mark you as a hunter of criminals.
Yeah, so like a vigilante.
Pretty much. You know, it's sort of sanctioned in the law of the game, but not really. You're still a mercenary. But we were known by some of the pirates as the Gay Scarf Club. They did not like us. But yeah, the main thing about that was a lot of political maneuvering. So if you are looking for a third-person MMORPG, a fantasy one, and you don't mind getting into dirty guild politics, ArcheAge, which is in the West now, definitely a good one to try out. It had a massive pay-to-win problem early on, but they've allegedly, I haven't confirmed this myself, purged all that. They created new servers and everything to completely get rid of all that stuff.
So was that a user-generated issue, or was that the game designers had basically just copped out?
That was because pay to win isn't a problem in the East, so they brought it pretty much untouched to the West.
Right.
But it's a massive problem here.
Yeah.
People do have a problem with pay to win, and people exploit pay to win here. It's just a different market.
Okay. That's a good roundup. What else we got on the table?
I think we can't talk about ArcheAge without talking about the king of player-controlled economy and player-controlled everything. EVE Online.
Ah, of course.
EVE Online.
Yes. What's happening in the world?
There has been. I'm not sure if the war's still going on. I haven't been keeping up on it as much as.
So, just for anyone who's not 100% across it, EVE Online is a space.
It's a space in where you, as a capsuleer, are able to control anything from a small ship to a large carrier to even bigger if your corporation or your guild is able to craft such a thing and have you train with real time to invest in that and then do that. It takes a lot of time to do a lot of things in this game. Very slow, but when the action's on, it is because everything you have is on the line. You know, it's very, very roguelike in that sense. You can still like get insurance and save where you're at with your skill thing onto a clone. Very expensive stuff, but when you're in a fight, this is your ship. You've paid money. You've outfitted this thing. It needs to live.
So it's not a case of you can just spawn back with all your stuff. You lose a lot of stuff.
You'll lose whatever you had on you on that
Wow.
life. And you'll need to make sure you got a backup ship or whatever, or rebuild entirely. But there's currently a massive war. When I say currently, I'm not sure if it's over yet. But last I checked, there was a massive, massive war going on over anime.
No, what?
Over anime, yes. In one of the alliances in their Discord thing, there was too much anime being posted in their Discord chat. And so the leaders banned it.
Yeah.
That did not sit well with all the people who wanted to post anime.
So they made their own sub-guild? Or?
Well, it got to a point where after several discussions and heated debates, they came up with a sort of competition where if 10 corpses of one person, of this one target, were brought in, anime would be banned forever.
Wow.
If you brought in... If the other faction brought in 20 corpses of this one player, anime would be allowed forever.
Wow, it's a weeaboo witch hunt.
Yes.
That's incredible.
The Weeb Wars.
Yeah. Weeb War 3.
Yeah, it was just reading, because it's the best play. The best way to play EVE Online, if you're not into that stuff, is just to read about what's going on in EVE Online. Because the wars are massive. It shattered the alliances and all that, because they're fighting they just want to let their people go. They're demanding freedom to post their anime or to ban the scum from their Discord.
Oh, incredible.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, EVE Online, I have played it I played it too much. It's one of those ones I just had to let go. Again, there's people who will do anything. They will even hurt you in real life to get ahead when it comes to some of these things. It's a second job. It's a second life. It's
got its own economy. It's got its own
everything.
It's crazy. There's like stock market analysts or at least there's one I know of whose full-time job is just analyzing the market economy inside of EVE Online and providing reports to the community so they can try and make sense of it and predict which trends are going to be, which resources they should sell, which resources they should keep, territory.
Some call it a spreadsheet simulator. So yeah, that one definitely a very interesting MMO to look at if you're into that.
Okay, sweet.
Last one I want to talk about for ones that I've been playing in the past. This one I still touch from time to time because I still enjoy it. It's very easy to get in and play casually.
Okay.
Planetside II.
Planetside II.
Yeah.
I remember having a burn in this one. It was good. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a first person shooter MMO. 3 factions. They've got an oceanic server, which is heavenly.
Oh, wow.
Because it's needed. And look, if you're making an MMO and you're expecting it to be big, just one oceanic server is all you need. It's all you need. And so we got an oceanic server, and it's great. You can fly. It's got vehicles. Imagine Battlefield, but sci-fi and MMO, where up to 2,000 people can be in a fight at any one time.
Wow. And so from my understanding, there's strategic points that you can capture that will then give you territory, and then there's sort of like a constantly evolving map that the 3 factions are sort of fighting over.
Yeah, and the map will change. So like if one faction completely dominates the map, they've won that one. They get the benefit from owning another. So it might be like 10% cheaper aircraft, and you move on to the next continent. So you got like a jungle continent, a forest continent, an ice continent, a desert continent. So and if you just want to get in there for some first-person shooting fun, you can easily just click instant action and drop straight into it and just.
And it just sort of puts you wherever the first battle.
Wherever there's a hot spot, it'll just drop you into one. Or you can plan with guilds and factions and stuff, and make a careful play to take over certain parts of the map or reinforce somewhere. The most recent major thing to happen to it was you can now build some bases. Which contributes to the victory points to claim a whole continent.
Right.
So when you set up this base, you set up walls, turrets, bunkers. It's a bit of a money grab if you really want to get into building these things. But if you don't want to spend the money, you can easily just help someone out with their own. And then in the safer spot...
when you say money grab, it's paid content.
Yeah, to get a lot of these buildings, you do need to pay real money. But when it's all set up and you've set up a sort of like core for it, then it will start generating points for your faction. And
nice.
The enemy factions, if they want to get those victory points, will have to assault your base and take that core.
So you can pay money and then it can get captured.
Well, you only have to pay money for the schematics,
right?
So pay once kind of thing. It's for people who are really invested in it, or whales. People who throw tons of money into this, or people who just this is the kind of game they want because it is a free to play game. So it's they have choices for people who want it. It's completely optional, but it's very fun to go around mining stuff to build a base. It's like being on the ground in an RTS and building a base around that stuff. Yeah. But otherwise, it's just a really fun game to jump in and kill stuff. Yeah, I really enjoy it. Actually, the more I think about it, the more I think I'm going to go play it again later today.
Awesome. Let's talk about some up and coming stuff. That's sort of a good wrap of what's out there, what's been out there in the past. But what's new? What's next?
Okay. Ones that there are 2 I'm interested in. It's more like there's one I know is coming, and there's a couple more hope come. So the one that I know is definitely coming is Ashes of Creation.
Okay.
This one, it's piqued my interest. It's crowdfunded, and it's got a lot of old developers, people who have been in the industry for a while, and they've said that they've really wanted an MMO that all MMO players want to play, which is a bold statement. That they've all played stuff like ArcheAge, and the lead developer actually did a sort of like an Independence Day speech before the major assault in ArcheAge.
Oh wow!
It was heard by quite a few people. Yeah, the towns and stuff are influenced by the players. So like as players quest and fish and build and sort of improve the economy in a location, that location builds up. It'll start as a camp, or it'll move into something bigger, like a small town, or into a metropolis even. And only so many of these things can be developed like that to a certain extent unless another one is taken from to continue to build up the other one. So there's limited resources. So if you want a place to be developed, you're going to have to make sure you have to make sure that another place starts to suffer.
Wow.
So very interesting there. PvP is optional. They want to stress that because some people just want to go around in the world without being ganked all the time. I'm interested to see where they go with it. It's promising a lot of really cool stuff. So yeah, it's just something that I'm cautiously optimistic. They said they're absolutely against pay to win. This is a subscription thing. But some people have said that they're concerned that some things are going to be pay to win. So there's a little bit of conflicting things there. But I'll give it a go, and I'll let you know how it is when it comes out.
Great. The last crowdfunded game that I played for, it was made by a bunch of my old favourite developers, was Planetary Annihilation. It was an RTS that was developed by a lot of the guys from the Command & Conquer team. So some of my favourite games like Command & Conquer Generals, Command & Conquer Use Revenge, and a whole bunch of that sort of developers from that time who sort of wanted to band together and make a game. And they got it kickstarted, so it was a similar kind of Inception story. And it was quite a well put together game, but then it just it was just there. It never really got the same cult following that its predecessors had, or that the games that the people had worked on previously had. So do you think that this game, by coming from such a prestigious background, or the devs coming from such a prestigious background, do you think that they've got quite a bit of work to do if they want to sort of get back to that level of achievement and fame, or do you think that this is a good opportunity for them?
I think when it comes to a new IP, it can be quite difficult to get it set up. Marketing currently doesn't seem to be a very big thing for them, which might be a problem because with WildStar, another one that we're going to dedicate a whole episode to, but with WildStar, it wasn't just that they had old developers, some of the old devs from World of Warcraft. The main thing was they advertised the hell out of it. The marketing was impressive, so that it's a new IP, but you wanted to play it rather than something being part of a franchise, something that has that
draw, that appeal.
Draw, that prestige, I guess. Already having its reputation. But for this one, I've seen zero marketing for it.
Wow.
I've seen one YouTuber talk about it.
Maybe they're going to go for that more organic approach and just sort of make the game good and the people will come. Maybe that's what they're going to go for, and just sort of hope that it sort of just gains cult status and popularity through that sort of social channels.
I guess. I mean,
because all the marketing in the world didn't really help WildStar at the end of the day. Like, it's still...
Well, that's because, and this is definitely something to talk about, it was vanilla World of Warcraft, and we moved past that a decade ago.
Yeah, we will dive into that a bit more further on later.
So, the next one that I'm particularly interested in seeing come to the West is another Korean one. Yeah. Like Spiral Knights, this is a hack and slash.
Okay.
Like Diablo, this is a hack and slash. So like that sort of top-down-ish perspective, and you go around. Amazing set pieces I've seen. It's the art design and just... everything is flashy. Everything is over the top. We're talking giant statues like the size of half a city moving to control a single little bridge for your team to run across, where your attacks, take out like 20 dudes at a time kind of thing. That kind of awesome fun. Huge set pieces. It looks fantastic. It's called Lost Ark, and there are rumors that it might come to the West. I hope it does, because it looks like so much fun. I can't speak Korean though, so I can't even navigate the damn thing.
Oh, bugger. Are there any other sort of groundbreaking isometric sort of top-down Diablo-style games out there at the moment? Or is
I wouldn't say groundbreaking, but one that does it well would be Path of Exile. That one is quite popular. Free to play from memory. So yeah, when it comes to no one really breaks the ground with these. They just sort of capture that Diablo aesthetic and the gameplay.
And some nostalgia, I guess, as
the
well.
nostalgia. People have incredibly fond memories of Diablo 2. Diablo 3 didn't even quite deliver on what people wanted, like what they just remember from Diablo 2. Nobody has the time to play a game like they used to play Diablo 2 anymore. But, they still remember it fondly. And so for everything I've seen of it, it does look like sort of a fresher take on it when it comes visually.
Yeah.
But the gameplay still seems solid. Everything just seems snappy and punchy. It's just really fun to watch. So I hope it comes out here.
That'll be something to look forward to.
Hopefully. I think for another episode, we should discuss Star Citizen.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking of the other one that I was hoping was coming out. That one, Star Citizen,
you're hoping it's coming out?
I will always hope it comes out. When will it come out? I don't know. If it ever comes out, we'll talk about it. I've already paid for that game, and I haven't had it for years.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
The most successful crowdfunding thing was got me thinking about it. But the final one I want to talk about, another one that I hope comes to the West, and it's possible that it might because the West has started to get a big following on this franchise. The Monster Hunter.
Right.
Monster Hunter Online. I'm a massive Monster
Yeah,
Hunter
I'm
fan.
aware.
I love Monster Hunter. It's just the right kind of boss battles. Where you need to move right, you need to hit right, and it's so inventive and everything looks fantastic when it comes to swinging a gigantic greatsword, and especially with a gigantic greatsword or quickly slashing around with dual blades. And in the most recent 2 games for Monster Hunter, Monster Hunter Cross and Monster Hunter Double Cross, or Monster Hunter Generations in the West, they've been more into flashy hunter arts. So you like press your touch screen and you'll do a massive corkscrew attack, or you will do a huge spin, and then out come your blade that you've charged up will turn into a freaking lightsaber thing. You just cut through with that. They just keep on coming out with fancier and fancier things, like turning your charge axe into a chainsaw by having the head spin kind of thing.
Wow.
It's always really exciting to look at. The monsters are great. And everything I've seen of Monster Hunter Online, the best part, HD graphics, which is something we haven't seen in Monster Hunter for quite a while because it lives on portable systems.
Yeah.
News came out this morning that Monster Hunter Double Cross, or a version of it, will be coming to the Nintendo Switch.
Oh, fantastic.
So it still wants to stay on its portable home. But yeah, Monster Hunter Online is the one available on PC. They did a CryEngine demo of it.
Oh, so it's actually running CryEngine.
Yeah, they did a CryEngine demo of it in English once, which was awesome. But yeah, it's one of those things that people always say, is it coming? Is it coming to the West? It was a fully translated test thing we had there.
Surely they wouldn't go through all that trouble if they weren't at least, putting a foot in the water.
But that was years ago. I mean, the following is even greater now. But so there's always a chance that they'll bring it over. There's some concerns about pay-to-win stuff, but the Eastern MMOs, they always go with this. But it would be great to have an MMO Monster Hunter, because I love the franchise. So that is another thing that I really hope comes to the West. There are some translation add-ons and stuff. I haven't given them a full go though, and I'm also concerned about the latency. On the 3DS version, we connect to Europe, which it has latency issues there because Europe has 300, 400 ping. Whereas if they connected us to somewhere like Japan, we would only have 100 tops. Yeah. But the 3DS versions have this system where if you dodged it on your screen, you dodged it. You're not linked to a server.
So it's sort of like client side.
It's client side stuff, and if latency becomes a bit of an issue, sometimes the monster will jank around a little bit, but it fixes up really quick. I've always been impressed with that because Nintendo isn't very well known for its internet play stability or anything.
Yeah.
It's just not something they're famous for.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's out of the scope of so many of their, principal titles.
Yeah, definitely with Monster Hunter, especially if they continue to go with that, sticking to, client-side latency stuff, I think that would work really well here. Oddly enough, it is a Chinese game, not a Japanese game.
Oh, really?
Monster Hunter Online. So we're never sure, especially when they come from China, we're never sure if they'll come out to the West. But, that is something I hope comes out.
That's a pretty solid roundup. Was there anything else that you wanted to touch on?
No, that's all I can think of now. Again, hoping Star Citizen comes out one day. They took my money.
Yeah.
So I'm going to want something in return soon. They keep on coming out with these little alpha builds, but that, we'll definitely have to talk about that later.
That may even be next on the list.
Maybe, actually.
Yeah. So there'll be something to look forward to coming up in an episode soon. But until then, thank you very much, Dr. Fox. It has been incredible to once again hear your expertise and all of your knowledge on these games and to get a really solid roundup on where things are at the moment. So thank you.
These are just things I like, But thanks for letting me ramble.
That's all good. Thanks for listening to Ding, guys, and tune in next time.
Yeah.